Say I just heard about a show.
Let's talk about it,
Where the independent artists go.
Let's talk about it,
Nisi got a new EP.
Let's talk about it,
Stephanie's doing comedy.
Let's talk about it,
That girl from LA and that guy
Let's
from
talk
New York.
about it,
Man.
talk about it.
And now your host of Let's Talk About It, Raheem Mitchell.
Hello, welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Raheem Mitchell. Today in the studio we have Daryl Brown. Now Daryl Brown is a gentleman that, everybody goes through certain things in life. And Mr. Daryl Brown, this gentleman has been through some things. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Daryl Brown to the Raheem Mitchell Show. How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good, sir. How are you?
Feeling good?
Yes, sir.
All right. So how are you feeling right now today?
Today I feel good, focused, moving forward, living life, enjoying life, and just continuing on.
All right. Okay, so kind of tell us what happened back in 2015.
2015, it was July 1st. I was at work and I came home and thought it was just a regular, normal day, just coming home to my family. And my daughter's mother had said that she was separating. She was going her own route. It was a surprise to me. I didn't believe it at first. I thought she was joking. I kind of laughed it off because we've been together for 9 years. So, But after a while, I started to realize that she wasn't kidding, that she actually was going to go her way. And when asked why, she said that it was because of my bad habits, namely alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me a while to really register what she was saying. But once I came to the realization that she wasn't kidding, I panicked.
You panicked.
Well,
that's natural.
Right.
Yes.
And I tried to talk her out of it. There was no talking her out of it. She said, I've had enough. You're not going to change your bad habits, and which we all try to. Our mouth can say it, but our mind will say it, but our mouth says something completely different.
Right.
So the next day, which is July 2nd, just happened to be my 41st birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And she had said, hey, you know what, we'll go out and we'll eat and take you out to dinner, but this will be the last time.
Yes.
So then that's when, the nervousness, the trauma, the anxiety kind of kicked in. And I was like, are you sure about this? But in a more nervous way.
Right.
Like, hey, don't do this. Hey, is there any way I can work it out or anything like that?
What can I do to fix it?
To restructure and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she was done. Mm-hmm. So she asked, how much time do you need me to be here for you to get yourself situated? Because I was going to keep the apartment. She was going to move in with her father.
Right.
And I said, give me about 20 days or whatnot. So within those 20 days, I was hoping that maybe she would snap out of it. Maybe we will go back to how things were. It was my family. We've been together for so long.
Yes, sir.
So within those 20 days, it was bitter. Yeah. A lot of arguing, a lot of finger pointing. It was almost like we went from friends to enemies.
Right.
In that brief period. So when I think it was the 20th of July came, she moved out. I was there still at the apartment, and that's when the black cloud came. I was like, oh wow. Mm-hmm. And that's when the trauma really came, because 1982, my father was in the Air Force.
Right.
He did his time in South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
He came back, thought he was coming back to his family, and things were just how they were. Right.
Upside down and
dad's back home
around,
one night, and I was there, and my mom was they were at the table, and my mom did this. I think I was like maybe 8 or 9 at the time, and I didn't know what they were until my dad got up and he said, hey, I need to go down to the Pomona court building. And I'm like, why? And he's like, hey, I need to file for joint custody. And I'm like, what's going on? He said, your mother's, we're getting divorced. So 30 years later, for me to have to
Come full.
repeat that,
It's
to
coming
see
full
that,
circle. Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? They say that the sins of the father be passed on to the child.
Right.
So for me to have to go through that, the trauma was just,
It was just bearable.
it was overbearing. It was the worst feeling that, I didn't know things like that existed,
Yes.
feelings and things like that. But when I experienced that, it was bad. I mean, I mentally, physically broke down. I mean, I felt like, this was the worst failure
As a man.
as a man
Right.
that I've experienced. So
how did it change? How did it change your life from that point on?
it went downhill. I think because of the alcoholism or whatnot, I met my bottom. They say once you meet your bottom, that's kind of like when you come to the realization of what's really going on. So I moved out of the apartment, moved to Paramount, lived with a family member, my brother.
Right.
That didn't work out because at the time, he too was going through a separation with his wife. His wife told him,
That's it.
that's it. So all this chains of events are all going on.
It's just a domino effect.
Like a domino effect,
Yes.
right. So that was going on. So he tried to do his best to be like a big brother. He's older. So, but I felt that, he needs to take care of the stains on his shirt before he acknowledges the stains on my shirt.
Exactly.
Okay, so I was uncomfortable. Why? Because that was his home, and I just left my home. So my sleeping arrangements didn't work out well. My sleeping just wasn't like it used to. I would wake up periodically, in and out.
Right.
So it just got to the point to where I was just uncomfortable. So I ended up.
Is that when you became homeless?
I became homeless. Yeah, and my arrangement was that there just happens to be a liquor store, and there was a church a couple of feet down.
Yes.
And that became my primary function, my primary location. There was a liquor store there, there was the church there. So I would sleep on a curb of the church, and I explained to them my situation. They were empathetic about what I was going through. So they said, hey, if this is what you want to do, it's fine. But at that time, there were people that would walk up to me and they would look at me and they would say, hey, what are you doing? What's going on with you? And I explained that, and they would say, like, no, God has a plan for you. We all go through this. You're not the first one that this happens to. Right. When you get ready, get yourself together and, keep moving. But easier said than done.
Yes.
Because I was traumatized.
Right.
My idea that I had was that I disassociated myself from the world. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Right.
It was me, and then there was everything else, and I was completely separated from it.
Right.
I didn't want to take another step into the real world and fail again. I was at my point where I was done. So I think that was November of 2017. No, 16. Excuse me.
16.
So I was there for, I would say, roughly a year.
Okay.
Almost, and I was on the street. There were people that would give food. My brother would see me periodically, and he was like, hey, I can't tell you what to do. You're stubborn. Whenever you're ready to snap out of it, let me know. But I wasn't ready. I had to deal with what I was going through. It was like a life crisis, I guess.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was something that I just had to deal with at that particular time.
Yes.
So there was, of course, there's, police or whatnot. So there was this policeman, I'm going to call him a policeman, excuse me. His name was Munoz. And he had talked to me, and he says, hey, you know what? I can get you for, lewd conduct, transportation, things, public intoxication, and things like that. So he had gave me a few breaks, but on the last time I saw him, he says, hey, listen, I'm going to give you an ultimatum. Either you go into rehab, get some type of help, or I'm going to go to a judge myself, and I'm going to have him order you to go to rehab and other type of programs to get you off the street or whatnot, the choice is yours. So he said, I'll give you 3 days. So within those 3 days, I thought about it, and when those 3 days came about, my dad just happened to come by and say, hey, Daryl, you know what, I made arrangements for you. We're going to go to a Pomona called American Recovery, and it's a program there. You know, it'll help you get you back to your sanity or whatnot.
Okay.
So that was the first rehab I went to, and I was a mess. All the counselors there, you know, they just felt my aura, I guess, like my pain or whatnot. They said they could just feel it because I was silent, I was stuck, I was teary-eyed, I guess, you know,
Yes.
crying or whatever. And it took a while for me to really open up to them. Yeah. So once I did, you know, they have their therapists, they have their psychologists and things like that. So I went through that program. I think it was a 5-month program. So I graduated, completed that program.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All
and touchdown, I ended up running into Mr. Munoz again. I said, hey, look, I completed this program. Here's a certificate here. And he says, hey, okay, I tell you what, there's another program that I want you to go to. And it was, I believe it was Didi Hirsch, which is a urgent mental care facility. It's only like a 28-day.
Yes.
So I went there, did
Your
the 28
second
days.
28 days.
Yes, second. So I went there and completed that program.
Okay.
And got out again.
Okay.
Then January of 2018, I entered another program. This was Redgate Memorial, which is out here in Long Beach. It's off of 20th Street or somewhere. Did another 5 months there and graduated.
All right.
So I went to 3 mental health places, rehabs, whatever you want to call them. And I would like to say that for those who are having the type of troubles that I was having, that it would be a good idea on their own if they would want to enter rehab, because it definitely worked for me. I would say without those facilities, I would probably still be stuck. Because where do you go from, if you're on the streets, where do you go from there? It's either up or down.
Yeah. Or you
So
can go to jail.
Right.
One of the two.
One of the two. So
Yes.
the only option I had was I was going to go down if I didn't get the help that I needed.
That's good. Because see, most of the time when people are going into rehab, they always, the counselors are always asking you, okay, how's your family support? When you come out, are you going to have the family support? And make sure you're not around the people that's doing the habit that you were doing. So a lot of people that try to go into rehab, they'll go in, but sometimes they won't have the family support. Or you tell somebody, man, I want to go to rehab. Like, oh, no, man, you don't need to go to no rehab, man. You got this, man. You this, you that. You a man. You got it. But this band it's hurting in the inside.
Right, absolutely.
And I need to go, I need to go get some love. I need to go get somebody that's understanding what I'm going through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
structure.
understand that.
Restructuring.
Yeah, you need to get your restructuring, man. You need to get your balance, because right now you are off balance.
Right.
Your chemical imbalances are off. You like, I don't know which way I want to go. And then finally you said, you know what, I'm gonna just go and I'm gonna do it. So as of today, what have you learned?
Life is a lesson. Love is a gamble. Okay, I've learned that.
Right.
It's not. You have to move on. You only have one life to live. You live and you learn. It's not the end of the world, as long as you have a support group, like your friends and your family members and things like that, or some of the counselors that work at these facilities here. And as of now, let's see, we're in December of 2019.
Yes.
I had my last drink September of 2018, so I have over 1 year of sobriety.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Thank
and
you.
all the temptations out there.
Still there.
You still have those stimulants.
Absolutely.
That's out there.
Right.
That's trying to get you to do stuff, and your friends know, man, you know I can't be around that, man.
Absolutely.
I can't do that.
Right.
Oh, man, you changed, man. You
Right.
this, you that.
Right.
Yeah, but I changed for the better.
Right.
You
Not
know,
for
I
you.
can't.
Right.
I can't be around that because where was
Right.
you when I was going through my crisis?
Absolutely.
You disappeared on me.
Right.
So I had to go and
Right.
take care of myself by
Right.
myself.
Right.
And now you figure because ain't nobody gonna care about you but you.
Right.
So your friends can say what they want
Right.
to say, but listen,
Right.
hey, I got my life back,
Absolutely.
and
My
that's,
choices are mine.
That's it,
Right.
and that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Earlier today we were speaking, and you said that you're into the music and
Right.
things like that. So talk to me about that.
Well, I've been producing for some time.
Okay.
It's for some time, maybe 20 years or whatnot. So that's what I do. It is my passion, but it's not a main priority right now. Right now, I'm still trying to get restructured or whatnot. But as far as me producing, it's what I do.
Just something that keeps you
It's me.
happy.
I was born with it.
Right,
You know,
right.
It's just a natural thing for me. So I do that as well.
Okay. So do you also go out and talk to other people that
Absolutely,
that had the same
right,
problem you
absolutely.
have and things like that?
I would tell them, I don't encourage rehab. I don't say this is what you need to do. I give them the option of if this is what you want to do, because rehab is not for everybody. My journey is in rehab. Some people they don't make it. They get there, and those demons come, those urges come, and they can't deal with it. They
Right.
break, and they leave. You have those that they're in these places and they talk, oh, I'm done. I'm done. I've met my higher power, and this will never happen. I'm finished. And next thing you know, you wake up and they're missing in action. They went AWOL,
Yeah.
and they're back on the back to what they're doing. I guess they call it relapsing.
Yeah, you relapse.
And
yes.
and you can't be down on them. It's just that addiction for me personally is an internal fire that I can't put out.
Right.
I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. And now that I've reached that I know how to just say no.
Yeah.
I don't have that. Of course,
You
I'll
don't-
always
you
have the
don't-
urge, the craving
right.
will always be there. When you
Right.
see those commercials where they pour in the new flavored Budweiser in the cup and whatnot,
Right.
and it's swirling around, and then you have other commercials where you got the guy in the tuxedo, then the nice little pretty lady comes in a white dress and they're sipping champagne. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
Then you have the new apple flavored Jack Daniels. You're like, but I still reach
you got to
that.
turn down that damper.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can't let that damper rise, because then that
Right.
flame gonna go up.
Absolutely.
So you got to turn that damper down.
Yes, sir.
So that damper, you don't. No.
Right. It's
I
a
go,
right.
I go a different way.
Yes, sir.
I remember a friend of mine, very very good friend of mine. Actually, we went to high school together. He was going through the exact same thing as far as in the alcohol, right? And he was telling his girlfriend that he wanted to get straight, and he didn't want to have nothing to do with it, but she wasn't with it. She's like, no, I still want to go out and party. I still want to go out and do this. And he was like, okay, well, you do your thing, but this is something I can't be a part of. So he would stay at home,
Right.
let her go out and do her thing.
Right.
But after she wanted to come home and she wanted to kiss him and love upon him, but he was like, no, I can't have you doing that, because just the smell of it.
They ask you the taste.
The taste when you
Right.
kiss, just that little bit,
Right.
will make you want to make that
Right.
that flame
That
rise.
flame
But you
rise
got to
up.
control your damper, man.
Absolutely.
And I understand
Right.
totally, because he and I used to talk about that a lot. And he used to tell me, I used to just talk to him on the phone. He would call me like, man, I'm in this bar at such and such. I'm like, man, don't mess up your sobriety, man.
Right.
Call your counselor.
Right.
Call your sponsor.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So call your sponsors. Call one of them to come get you, man.
And
That's
you have
called-
counselors too as well.
Yes.
They like to keep in touch as well.
Yeah. So are you? So how have your sponsors and counselors been with you?
Well, I do have counselors. Unfortunately, I don't have a sponsor because I live in the city of Inglewood and I haven't found sponsors. I haven't found any yet.
Right.
But for the most part, I still talk to my counselors or whatnot. So when that happens, I'll take care of that. But as of now, I don't have a sponsor.
Okay.
but I'm still working on my sobriety. You know, I have the rest of my life to deal with that.
Right.
You know, because I only have 1 year sober. I've got the rest of my life that I have to worry about this.
Yes.
So it's one day at a time.
That's it.
You know, so that's just my structure. You know, I wake up to it every day. You know,
Yeah.
I would love to have a beer or drink some champagne or have a shot of, what do they call it, Hennessy or whatever. You know, but I know I can't do that because if I do that, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And I've seen too many people fall
Right.
because of that. You know, they that movie New Jack City. Remember when Mookie went into that? He got cleaned up and everything, and he started working at that place.
Yeah, it's just that's where I was getting that trigger from.
Right.
I was going to say that.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
he was ready.
When that happened, he
they
was
put
ready.
him in a drug house.
And boom.
And he was just sitting there. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I remember that, man.
So that's what happens.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So but it's good that you are around strong people, structured people, and you're making it happen. I'm gonna tell you myself from first meeting you, and we talk, and I'm gonna let you know, man, that I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I want you to keep it going, man.
Right.
Just stay strong because only the strong survive.
Hey, the half-steppers get stepped on.
That's it. And we're not gonna have no half-steppers because you've already been there, done that.
Yes, I've seen it. I lived it. And, I don't want to go back to that hell.
That's it. I can't imagine. I can't imagine how it is. I really can't.
I'll not say hey, but I almost didn't make it.
Really? Explain it.
Just being on those streets and the thought that I tried to keep was I still wanted to have that feeling that I still had my family, but it was all here.
Right.
It wasn't. The reality wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
And some people, when you feel, you got to make sure those feelings are real.
Right.
And what I was going through, the feelings weren't real. It was just something that I just wanted to, I guess, live off of. It was just something that I just wanted to
hold on to.
Yes.
Yeah, hold on to, but it's not there.
Right. It's like, dangling off the cliff with two fingers, you know what I mean? And, you got two left.
That's it.
So luckily, I happened to listen to Officer Munoz, who said, hey, you got an ultimatum.
Right.
Either you get off the street or I'm going to take you off.
That's it.
So I did it.
All right. So do you still keep in contact with your wife and everything else?
My daughter's mother, I do keep in contact with her.
Okay.
She's somewhat supportive.
Okay.
She has her own life to live. We have a daughter.
Right.
Our daughter's 10, and my daughter, she is the best thing that ever happened to me because she has been so supportive. I was surprised how supportive she was. I had no idea how much that girl loves her father.
Right.
But but we're talking to psychologists and counselors and things like that. It's like the way I felt about myself, it wasn't the way that she felt.
Right.
Completely different. She's a child. But be as it may, I was just totally surprised. And we have a good relationship today. I talk to her every day. I tell her I love her, and we still have that father-daughter relationship bond. It's not broken.
Yeah. No, that's not ever going to.
Right. So that's a blessing. There as well.
Exactly.
And I have my family. They're supportive, and I have myself.
Yeah.
Because only I can do it.
That's it. I mean, everybody's they're gonna be proud of you for doing it.
Right.
But they can't help you.
Right.
You got to do it for
I got to do it
yourself.
myself. Absolutely. And I have realized that.
Yes.
Right. I have done that.
That's good, man.
So,
and looking at you, man, you big, you strong.
Right. Thank you.
Got that booming voice, and you look like you ready to go back out there and then conquer this world, man.
Right.
So how's your life today?
My life today is there's no alcohol.
Right.
Because I started drinking, I want to say 94.
Mm-hmm.
So from 94 until 2016, it was every day. But I wasn't the sipper type drinker. I was more of I want to use the word glutton.
Right.
I mean, it was when I woke up until I went to sleep. I vividly remember one time that I was officially drunk for 30 days straight. No sober time. I remember that. That's how bad it was. Vomiting 24/7. So I remember that. My alcohol. I took it to the abyss.
Right.
But I guess that maybe there was something that I had going on that I didn't realize I had going on.
Right.
So there might have been some trauma growing up, or something might have happened. But for me to, like I said, to be in a family structure with my father and my mother,
Right.
and to see my father go through that, I remember it vividly. I was 9 years old. This was back in '82.
Right.
How I had broke him, and I talked to him, and I said, Dad, how did you? I said, I remember you, but like I was young then, and I wasn't sure if I was able to register what you were saying exactly. And he said, hey, look here. It was the most surprising and disturbing thing that he, as a man, went through. Why? Because he didn't see it. He's like, what I've learned is always look for the warning signs. If you see warning signs, don't ignore them.
Right.
If there's warning signs, you better take heed to them right then and there. You fix them, or if not, those warning signs can come.
Yeah. Is it going to become to an actual life crisis?
Right.
So it's telling you, hey,
right.
Stop that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Things like that. Hey,
right.
Stop that.
Stop it. Nip it right then and there.
Nip it right then and there. But you like,
right.
nah. That's what most people say. No,
right. I've heard it all before.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
I can drink. It's like somebody drinking. Hey, man.
Right.
Man, he said, man, I can drink a 6-pack and still drive.
Right.
But you already done drunk a 6-pack, dude. You don't need to be driving.
Absolutely.
Then you want to fight with somebody because you don't want to give up the keys. No, I'm a man. I got this. Yo, you a man, but don't be a dead man.
Right.
Give me your keys. Let me drive you home. Nah, you ain't got to drive me home. I got this. And that's your warning sign. Your friend is telling you.
Absolutely.
Give me them keys, man.
Yep. Give me those keys.
That's it. Give me the keys. That's it.
And I can say, you know what? Being on the streets, for those out there, it's dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous. And me being there, I have a different perspective of people that are on the streets. You never know why they're there. They might be traumatized. Something bad might have happened, or you have those that might have mental problems, but you also have those that are just happy.
Right.
But I experienced that, and my reason for being on the street, it was just that I couldn't deal with reality. Right. I wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Yeah. And that's how I get sometimes with people.
Right.
Sometimes that be like it can just be one thing that can trigger it.
Right.
And you're like, you know what? That was just distraught. I broke the camel's back.
Absolutely.
And I'm done.
That was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
I'm done.
And I actually remember saying that. I remember saying I'm done.
Yeah.
Done.
You said I'm gonna just do it.
No more failures for me.
That's it.
But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly.
So I'm happy that I can live to tell about it.
Yes, sir.
Each one teach one.
That's it. That's how it always goes. Right. And remember, you got that baby girl to take care of.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got that baby girl that she's gonna have to walk down the aisle with one day.
Absolutely. Graduation, and I look forward to that day's gonna come. She's gonna bring him home, and I'm gonna have to check him. So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I'll jokingly speaking.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying, but I just, I'm just right now, man. I'm looking at you, man, and you're glowing, man. It's like you saying I'm in a better place now.
I actually have a picture of my ID that I would like to show you.
Okay.
And this is what I look like when I was going through my crises. And it's a picture that I don't like to look at, but it's the truth. This is what I look like.
That's Cuba Gooding Jr.
Okay.
That ain't you. That's Cuba.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I don't want your information to be shown on TV.
Right.
But I'll take it. Yeah. Gray hair?
Oh, yeah. Just dress to do it to you.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, you're getting better now, man. You still have that you still have that strong bond.
Strong-willed.
With your, strong bond with your daughter.
Right.
And just that right there, man, just make you want to be like, I'm a daddy.
Absolutely.
I got to protect my queen.
Right.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Because I have to prepare her for my passing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That to me, that is a father's job or responsibility, is that you have to prepare your children.
Yes.
because you're not going to be here forever.
That's it.
So that's what I wake up to every day. That I make sure that, you know, my daughter's out of line, or she's doing what she's not supposed to. That what the saying is, what, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah.
Okay, so I definitely keep a close eye on her.
That's it.
Yeah.
You have to, man.
Absolutely.
Well, Mr. Daryl Brown, I want to thank you for, first of all, sharing your story with me and everybody else.
Thank you.
And it took a lot for you to come on and talk to me. Because I remember I spoke to you on the phone, and I was, you know, trying to see where we were, and you sounded so excited. You was like, "Yeah, man, this is something I want to do.
Right.
I'm okay. Where do I need to meet you? What you want me to do?" And you were just so ready to give up the information and asking me where at. Okay, where am I going to do this? Where am I going to do that? And you was willing to come and share your demons and share what's coming up now and what's coming on later on in the future. And I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're very
and there's
welcome.
somebody out there who's going to see this.
Absolutely.
And they're going to see themselves in you.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to want to make that change.
Yes, sir.
So if you can, give me those rehabs you went to again.
Absolutely.
What was the first one?
The first one is American Recovery. It's in the city of Pomona. Didi Hirsch, that's somewhere in Los Angeles. I don't have the address, but if you just look up Didi Hirsch mental facility, it'll pop up. And Redgate is in the city of Long Beach.
It's called Redgate. R-E-D or R-E-D?
Redgate.
Redgate?
Yeah, R-E-D-G-A-T-E.
Okay, the color red gate.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make
And
sure.
that is a good facility for those out there that haven't heard of it. It's called Redgate again. It's a very good place. It's a very good program. It's residential. It's inpatient, basically, and it's a very good place. I would recommend Redgate as a place for some people who are trying to beat their addiction.
All right. Okay. Well, Mr. Brown, I want to thank you
You're welcome.
for all your time.
Yes, sir.
And stay strong, man.
Yeah, you got no
All right.
choice.
Yes, sir. All right. And also, everybody, remember those rehabilitation homes you're talking about? And I want to tell you, thank you for tuning in to Raheem Mitchell. Let's talk about it. And remember, don't share your 8x10 dream with somebody with a 5x7 mind. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Let's talk about it, talk about it. Let's talk about it, talk about it.
Talk about it.
Let's talk about it, talk about it.
Talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
That girl from LA.